Yo, what's up, guys? Shotzzy from the Dallas Empire here. Okay.
Oh, I'm literally never doing intros again. Yeah, let's do a Q&A video here. Let's get our questions going. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. So the first question we got Outguns. He said, "How difficult was the transition from Halo to COD?" The transition at first was, I'd say, pretty hard, just because of the fact that, like, the time to kill is way different, and just like I had no knowledge when it came down to like respawn. S&D is pretty simple, but when it came down to the respawn, like hardpoint and domination, it was just two different game modes that I had to get used to at first, and it took a lot of time for me to understand the ins and outs of it. I literally I didn't know spawns. I didn't know the understanding of valuing your life a lot of times, and at first I'd say it was really hard. Literally, just like Minnesota, London. I was starting to understand it more towards London, and then like that LA event. I feel like that's when I understood the game to my fullest. So with our next question, Tremor BTW says, "What was your favorite play at Champs?" Favorite play at Champs would have to be against FaZe when it was I think it was Winter Finals. It was with Clay and Ender. They were in a 2v5 scenario. I died. Me, Porter, Kyler died, and then me just watching the way they played it. Like literally, there was no comms. Like Ender was just like, "I'm gonna plant the bomb," and then from there on out, it was pure silent. But they knew what they were doing, like in their minds, if that makes sense. And like just watching that was just like it was the most craziest like round that I've ever seen in Search. Like it was something crazy. So I'd go with that play. Hova XO says, "How did you come up with the name Shotzzy, and when did you realize you were good at video games?" So when I came up with the Shotzzy, many of y'all know this, but from my streams and stuff like that. But there was a board game called Yahtzee, and apparently I was good at it back then, to the point where like my brother wanted to name something like that, so he ended up coming with Shotzzy. And then from there on out, I literally had just been playing with the tag named Shotzzy this whole time. So, yeah, that's how I got my Shotzzy gamer tag. And for when did I realize I was good at video games? I realized I was really good at video games once I would beat my older brother, sometimes in 1v1s, and just like, people that he played with like would just gas me constantly, and just like from there on out, I was just like, damn, like I'm actually nasty at this. So, I'd say when I was like around 12ish. Shady Narrow says, "You may not know since you are still fresh on the COD scene, but what do you think will happen these breakout rookies like Mac Melts and Awakening, etc. going into Rostermania? Are they safe, or will vets take their spot?" That's actually a really good question. That's a tough one, just because like the way some pros look at it is just like, we could easily take a safe route and pick this guy, or it's kind of 50-50 with taking like this rookie player, I guess you could say, that has a lot of talent, but it's still like a risk. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they think. I'm pretty sure, because that's like kind of how they thought when me and Ender were coming into the scene. Like me, Kyler, Ender, we asked like a lot of different pros, and they just said like they're not ready, etc., stuff like that. So that's really a hard question that I honestly have no idea. But like if it was me, I'd 100% take rookie players that have talent. Literally, all you do is just teach them how to play the game, and then like they're gonna be disgusting no matter what. So yeah. I mean, hopefully they get a spot, but who knows. Hoopoo says, "Since it was your first year in COD, what would you say your favorite match that you played in was, besides Champs Grand Finals?" Favorite match that we played in this year, I'd 100% go with the Rocket Series on at LA. Literally just like I think we went like 2-1 or something like that, and then like we almost, or no, I think we're 2-0, and then I think we're about to get reverse swept. But like that fourth map, like for some reason, like we lost it, but like looking back at it, it was like a crazy moment, like just a crazy match to be in. You know, like the Rocker literally somehow came back on map 4, and then like it was just like I was like, "Whoa." I was just mind blown that they came back because literally like usually no one breaks that P5 hill on gun or on Hackney, and I was just mind blown. But like it was my favorite match just because from a viewer perspective it was just insane. So yeah, I'd go with that match. Ecstatic says, "Who got you into gaming?" Um, so yeah, back then I didn't have an Xbox, and you know I was like 4, 5 ish, 6, something like that. And you know my uncle back in the day was at MLG or was a Halo 2 semi-pro, and you know I would always just watch him play Halo 2 constantly at his house. I'd literally go over like at least every single day because I was so addicted to watching him play, and like I wanted to be that one day. And you know he literally taught me how to play claw. That's one thing that like no one really knows about is that I claw, and like he's the one that taught me how to play claw since a young age. I'll watch him play, and literally he's holding the controller like this, pressing all his buttons with this finger, and then like I didn't even question it, I just did it. And then yeah, that's how I've been playing claw this whole year. And if it wasn't for him, I have no idea where I'd be. So you know, shout out to my uncle. The next question. Next question is by Thaders. He said, "How long did Ilya have that sniping spot on Gunner in his back pocket for?" Um, so yeah, that's actually a good question because you know one time I was streaming, right, and a viewer in my chat was like, "Yo, check whispers," and then like you know after my stream was done, I checked my whispers, and then it was a YouTube link, and the YouTube title literally said "For Dallas Empire," and then it was just a little spot in Gunner. It was basically what Ender was doing. You know, you sit on the Jeep, you open the doors, you're able to see bomb site, and you know, I basically showed this to my team or the day after, and then showed them like, "Yo, this is a nasty spot. We should save this until champs," and then that's what we ended up doing. So, yeah, shout out to the guy in my chat. I forgot your name, but yeah, shout out to you because we ended up using it and winning with because of the spot. We got another question. It says Kenobi CS. He says, "How did you get? How did you get Cuddlers to take a chance on you to join them, coming from Halo or other players?" Okay, yeah. He said, "How did you get?" Okay. Um, so I was fortunate enough to have Kyler on my side to literally just vouch for me. And, you know, he was kind of like, he's been on Envy for so many years, you know, so he was kind of, he had the keys to the team, basically, if you guys know what I mean. And, you know, during franchise, you know, he was like a player by himself on Envy, you know, he basically was able to get players by himself. And, you know, he literally just vouched to me to show, and he said, you know, I want to team with this guy no matter what it takes, and that's what ended up happening. You know, Stro, you know, took that risk on me, and then you know from there on out we made history. But um, I just got super like fortunate, literally. Like if it wasn't for Kyler, I would probably be on the Toronto team right now, literally. And who knows how that year would have been out. So yeah, shout out to Hugh. Drew Sama said, "So now that you're a two-time FPS champ, what game do you prefer or like more?" Um, so competitive wise, I'm just gonna say Call of Duty just because you know it has a bigger scene, and like when you do crazy stuff, you know you get a lot of gas for it, so it's you know it's a cool feeling. And then when it comes down to Halo, I like that. I like how fun Halo is, dude. And like it's my childhood. I've been playing Halo since I was like 4 years old. So fun wise, I'd go with Halo, but competitive COD 100%. Freezy Pop said, "How did you meet Illy and how did you join the Dallas Empire?" So yeah, I met Illy back in Black Ops 4. My transition Halo to COD. I was in the BF4 scene, and you know I just played like 1v1, 2v2s, and then you know I met Ender playing a 2v2 against him for like a crazy amount of money. It was like 200 each or something like that, and like me, Onyx played against him and Stellium, and you know we played him like at least 5 times plus. I think our series was like I won 2, he won like 3 times against me, and like once Cell switched over to Variant, he didn't have a duo, and then like I was underage, so we were like, let's play tournaments together and stuff like that. And then ever since we did that, we played like 2 tournaments in one day, and then like from there on out, we just kept playing over and over and over, and like then we eventually ended up teammates. So it's crazy to look back at it, just because like who would have thought me and Illy would have teamed and won a chip together or won a world champ together? Like it's just a crazy it's crazy to think about. RKO Legend says, "We'll finally check in your head and make you go from a bot to a beast, as also known as Botsy to Can't believe I was named Botsy, man. I like it, but anyways, that's a good question. I think just like being confident, honestly. Like my launch weekend, I was like, damn, I'm this bad. Like I thought I was decent, like at least. And then we ended up switching roles. I was more confident on the dead silence role, just because when you have dead silence, you're able to like roam around, do whatever you want, kind of, but still make smart plays. But when it came down to like trophy stuff, when I was a trophy player, like for some reason in my head, I was like, all right, I'm a trophy player. I literally had to rotate really early and then just like get trophies on the hill for my teammates and stuff like that. And then that's why I would have really bad KD stats and stuff like that. But once we switch over to dead silence, I just became more confident, and I felt like I understood the game more as well during like the LA event. So yeah, I'd go with just switching roles and being confident. Okay. Bree LND, hopefully I said your name right. How many hours did you guys practice every day leading up to champs? So yeah, we practiced. So against Toronto, we did our normal 2 scrims, 3 scrims, as much as we can leading up to Toronto at champs, and then like against the Toronto team at champs, not the Toronto event, and then like it was really hard for us to get scrims because in the winners finals there was literally only 4 teams, which was Dallas Empire, FaZe, Chicago, and London. And then like we basically scrimmed against each other. It was just like we scrimmed like London one day, and then like Chicago one day, and then we tried scrimming like AMs. It wasn't like real practice, but like we were still shooting our guns and stuff like that, so that was cool. But it was just like 2 scrims per day, and that's honestly about it. Literally 2 scrims per day, as much as we can. And we just did a lot of bot review against certain teams. Temptation says, what was the main reason you switched from Halo to COD, and would you ever consider switching back? That's a question that I think to myself a lot, because if it gets to a point where Halo is just massive, which I mean, like, who knows? I'm just saying, like, if it does, then there's a possibility that I might. But in this current state, I'm sticking to COD, not switching. And that was actually the last question. So yeah, I mean, that's it. If I didn't answer you guys this question, I could make a part 2 depending on how good this video does. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. You know what I mean? Peace.